Jack and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the JackJill Show. Real estate investment talk is what we do here. I'm Jack Butella.
I'm Jill DeWitt, and we are broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about real estate investment rules we both live by, and surprisingly, they're not the same rules.
That's not surprising. Why is that surprising?
That's my whole point to the whole thing.
I make up my own rules.
What works, I know. Yeah, you actually do.
I do. There's not a lot of them.
And I pretty much just follow what's in my calendar, and it seems to work out for both of us. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the JackJill.com online community. It's free.
Okay. And this one, it looks like we have the question and we have an answer. So I'm going to go through the whole thing here. So CE, I have the initials, asks, question for all you experienced folks out there. Does the model scale up for counties where the land is worth more? I assume it would. But most of the success stories I hear are in the Southwest. If others are seeing success with scaling up, please share some of your experiences. And then Jeff A. replies, I'm not sure about everyone else here, but from my experience, the more expensive the parcel, the longer it takes to sell, but the more profitable, unless you sell on terms. I have bought and sold in the Southwest, Northeast, and South, and they have all sold. As long as you purchase at the right price and you have a strategy before you purchase, you can also do an option contract on the more expensive parcels. Just an idea. He did a great job.
I mean, is there anything else to add to that, really?
No, I mean, it's really...
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, I think his experience is what we and most of our community have experienced, which is, it's kind of what you just think about it. I mean, just think about anything in a price range. There's going to be less people at the $500,000 and up, price range than there are at the $100,000 and below price range.
Absolutely brilliant.
Kind of it, so.
There are less people who buy Porsches and more people who buy Chevys.
Yeah.
Because of the price point.
Yeah.
And I don't know for sure, but I would assume there's a little bit more profit margin in the higher price stuff.
Right.
And it goes with clothes, everything. So the answer is heck yes. Does it work? It always works.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like higher price property.
Right.
We cut our teeth and built a huge business on lower price Southwest property, and we talk about it a lot. Mm-hmm. And that's what people, because it's cheaper, like Jill just said, people start out that way. It's a great place to practice and start out. Mm-hmm. And it sells fast, but
low risk. When you just put $1,000 down, you're not so worried as you're putting $100,000 down.
The most profitable, most successful people in our group right now in land, not houses, are buying properties for $30,000 and $40,000 and selling them for $80,000 or $100,000. Mm-hmm. And they're doing multiple units per week.
And here's the thing, I think, too.
Per month, excuse me.
It's really just what is your business model? See, some people, that's what they want to do. Some people don't. Some people are happy just doing a ton of volume on these smaller deals, get in, get out really fast. And there are some people that, I'd rather them take a little more time and I don't do as many, but they're bigger. There you go.
The original members in Land Academy, which was, mid-2015, I think, Joe? Mm-hmm. The ones that are doing well have adopted, they did exactly what I said. They started small and then realized that they can replace their job at $200,000 or $300,000 a year just by doing one or two $50,000 to $100,000 transactions a month. Mm-hmm. So to answer your question, that's a pretty indirect way and a long-winded way on my part to answer the question, but the answer is heck yes.
It's okay. You can be long-winded. It's your show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jill.
Notice how Jack comes before Jill. So.
We could do a Jill Jack show. I would
like to do that.
Do a Jill Jack show where...
that would be fun. We should do one.
I sit in the corner and say stuff when you ask me to.
Maybe we'll do one over the holidays where we change everything around. Seriously, like between the holidays.
I can't wait.
Well, I get to start it and lead. I mean, we used to do it a long time ago. Like I would jump in and we would now and then I would lead. But I want to really I would like to make up my own script and my own everything and then do it.
That.
I think this would be fun. So,
I would love it. Probably do twice as well too.
Oh, thanks.
Today's topic: real estate investment rules to live by. I have a set. And Jill has a set. This is the meat of the show. You go first, Jill. What real estate rules? Not the ones you think people should live, that we teach. What do you live by?
Well, that's not what I wrote down. So
Okay.
can't answer that.
Go ahead.
Although it is really ours. I mean, it's the same thing. So I wrote down 4 things. I sat and thought about this for a minute, and I kind of came up with my 4 top rules for. And you know what's funny? I read it like. Well, I made it as investor or investment rules.
No,
so
you can't. There's no wrong answer.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
Yeah.
Good. I'm like, oh shoot, I failed. No, I'm just
You've
kidding.
been doing this for a long time.
All right.
What are your rules?
So number 1, don't borrow money.
Oh, I love it. That's good. It's not even on my list.
Yeah, I can't stand that. I can't stand people under the gun. Well, number 1, they're maybe taking on an asset that's really not. They should have no business being involved in. They're borrowing too much money.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what they're doing and now we have people looking for us. We're under the gun and we're playing by somebody else's rules and not calling the shots when you borrow money. So one of my things is don't borrow money. Okay.
Love it.
Thank you. And this goes for having a money partner. Having a money partner is not borrowing money. A mortgage is borrowing money, and that kind of a thing. So
take on equity if you must,
right.
but never take on debt.
Right.
Love it. That's the
Thank
rule.
you. So then my number 2 thing is pick partners strategically. Don't pick your wife because she's there and available to answer the phone. And I feel bad saying that, but that's not. There's a place for that, but think big picture. Think bigger. You really want to align yourself with the right people. Like Jack and I talk about. If one of you is good at data, one of you is good at handling people, one of you is good at getting the meetings, one of you is good at closing the deals, one of you is whatever it is, good at all the paperwork and running the team, and maybe one of you is good at finding the acquisitions and the other one's the best at following them all the way through to the sale and setting up your credit card system and all that good stuff. So that's how you should be looking at your partners, don't want to just look around who's available. Let's be strategic about this. So, and don't take on someone just because they have money. Be strategic about this because in the end, you'll win.
Yeah, as far as money partners go, I totally agree with those 2 rules, by the way. You want to make sure that the person that you're working with understands and is seeking out this product type. I've seen people make mistakes. I've made this mistake where you take on a money partner and what they really want to be involved in is an online, some type of .com out of San Francisco. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for whatever reason, real estate works for us. And they need to understand that.
Right.
And there's lots of real estate people out there.
All right. Number 3 I had is know your market. Put in the time up front. Don't just kind of wing it. Go, spend some time figuring out really what you want to do. I talked to a guy the other day, and I love it. He's like, we do apartment buildings. Thank you. That answers a lot.
Yeah.
Not just real estate, not just this, not just buying everything. Being specific. I'm like, great. Now I know exactly where you're coming from, and now we can talk about this. So, love it.
So you mean know your acquisition criteria, not so much the market, the physical market.
Actually, both.
Okay, so the difference is between 2 zip codes that are next to each other.
Yes, both.
Awesome.
You know what? You're right. So it really is 2
I do that through data, so let's be super clear.
Okay, excuse me. Apartments in,
houses.
In apartments in San Jose. Let's just say something like that. And no San Jose inside and out, and apartments and all that good stuff. So
That's not on my list because I don't think that's important, and that's why we're doing this.
I like that. All right. And then if this is yours on your list, one of mine is don't get greedy.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
That's a big problem.
Okay.
Trying to soak every penny out of every deal and letting it take 2 years. Yeah.
Yep. That's why I said if volume is your deal, follow through.
That is on my list. It's never maximize transactional price. Never. In fact, you should minimize it. It goes against intuition.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how we word things differently, but they mean the same thing. Never. How did you word it again?
Never maximize transitional value.
In my term, it's don't get greedy. It's funny how we communicate differently.
In the most simple terms, what that means is you buy an asset for, the value of the asset's $200,000. You know that because you did all the research. That's why you sent offers out. But you buy it for $150. Do you sit around and try to get $200 for it? I don't. Mm-hmm. I try to get a good solid $180 from a buyer who I know is going to buy 22 more units from me.
Right. Thank you. Well, that's the end of my list.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could keep going if you want, but I think you have a list bunch too that you want to add in. So please share.
Only use data, not lists. I hear this all the time. I got a list.
Yeah, I love that.
Remove the word.
I'll sell you a list. Hey, psst, buddy, got a list. $50. Here you go. It's 3 years old, but it still works. Have fun. No.
Remove the word lead from your life.
Ah.
I am so over the word lead.
You know what's funny? I've accidentally, or not accidentally, I've considered putting that in some of my literature just because people, even though it's not what I want them to do, but at least they understand that word, and it's stupid. You're right.
You know, in healthcare, if you ever saw the movie Patch Adams,
yeah.
you know, doctors and healthcare professionals tend to not treat the patient; they treat the disease. Like, there's appendicitis in room 3.
Right.
You know, actually, there's really little Sally Smith in room 3, and whatever her condition is, from diagnosis, doesn't matter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really how the conversation goes?
Yeah, unfortunately. Not so much anymore because I think everybody's kind of wising up.
That's sad.
So you want to do the same thing with real estate. You don't say, you know, I've 1, 2, 3. I've got 1, 2, 3 Main Street.
Could you imagine?
1, 2, 3 Main Street is signed the contract at 150. No,
Right.
Sally Smith signed the contract at 150, and we're going to hold her hand, and we're going to buy her a new purse if that's what she wants, because that's how we're in the people business.
Yeah.
That's where Jill shines.
Thank you.
Jill, you can, because I'm not that way.
I'm good at buying purses.
I'm the
That's very
appendicitis
true.
and C way.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. Appendicitis and C, and I'm like, I got a new purse.
You know the old adage carpenters have that you measure twice and cut once?
Yes.
The same thing applies to real estate investment. Go through your data and price and scrub and reprice twice and send it out once. You want to use data. I mean, you want to spend, if you think it's going to take you 3 days to do a real solid, good scrub of data for, let's say, I don't know, sending out houses in Austin, Texas, then you better spend 6 days, double it, and really, really go over it, especially if you're new.
Yep.
It still takes me days to do it. That's what I'm actually doing today when we're done recording. And I'm going to have one of the best work days ever. I love scrubbing the data and getting it in the mail. Turn off HGTV. Just turn it off. Or watch it and laugh at it with some popcorn and stuff.
That's funny.
With your spouse, because it's all fiction.
That's true.
Renovating houses sucks.
They used to give. It's so funny. Now too. Even when they gave the numbers, were they really the numbers? I don't know.
No, they weren't.
I think that's why they had to stop giving the numbers. We decided, right? Because
so
they probably
too.
were made up numbers.
You know, they never give the address.
Either give the real numbers or give no numbers, and they said, okay, we'll do none. Okay, thank you.
They never give the address. I had a marketing campaign a long time where it was just a picture of the property that we sold, and there was a graphic on that overlay that said purchase price.
I remember that.
Sale price.
I love that.
It was hugely successful.
That was fun. We should do that again.
I know.
Okay.
People keep asking, like, what deals are you guys doing? We got to communicate that.
Yep.
Never finance property. Jill already covered that. Make friends with a couple of national title agents and use them for every single deal. So what I see new people making the mistake, and as always, I made this mistake. You know, you're running around trying to find a title agent based on where the property is. So what you need is a national title agent that's going to do every single one of your deals. A single point of contact where you can everybody knows each other. And you send an email to that person that says, got another one at 123 Main Street in Scottsdale, Arizona. Here's the APN, and here's the buyer's and the seller's name. Can you please let me know when you think you can close it? The funds are ready. And you want that person to say, oh, thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jill. It'll be closed in a week and a half. I just looked into it. Then that's all you want to do. Mm-hmm. You don't want to. Some title agents will talk about their kids and stuff. It's a mess.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Choose $1 floor as a profit margin. So what does that mean? After you get your Jill's 10 deals done, you've got 10 deals under your belt, and you decide that you really want to do this, you need to decide what your threshold is for profit. For example, I will not, and I'm just thinking out loud, I will not buy a house in this market where I have to make $40,000 a house. $20,000 is not worth my time any longer. Mm-hmm. And even when you're new, You should be saying, that version of this was when you're new, is I just want to get my first deal done, even if I make $500.
I agree. I totally agree. And don't waver.
And don't make exceptions early on.
Right.
If you have staff set up like we do, and it's like, we're only going to make $25,000, we're supposed to make $50,000, that's a different story. But in the beginning, I really think that matters.
Or just double your money and get out. If you just start off with that, that's what we talk about. Don't get greedy.
Yeah, double your money.
Just double it. Some people, and if you make 90%, you still won. Even 75, 50. What if you bought it for $10,000 and you sold it for $15,000? Is that really a failure? No, it's not. And some people see it as it is.
Right.
And it's okay. That's excellent. Move on.
Stop trolling the MLS for property. God forbid you actually do successfully buy a property after trolling the MLS.
Can we pause on this one for a minute and talk about it for a second? Because I just talked to somebody the other day, and it was so funny because I'm not really sure they got it. Everyone has this mindset of, like we talk about, they wake up in the morning and they're looking for deals. Looking, and think that they don't find them. They're looking in the wrong place. And
then they think they need to look harder.
Yes, and they need to do more. Maybe they should have got up earlier. Maybe they should have got up at 4 instead of 5 because something hit the MLS between 4 and 5 a.m. and they missed it, kind of thing.
You will never get ahead
if
you're doing this.
This is my whole thing.
You can work 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's never going to work.
And I was saying, this is the whole point of the way we do things. We put it out there and let them come to us. We all agree on the situation part. We all, most of us agree on we're looking for a situation. But then the other thing, it just quit hitting your head against the wall and doing it the hard way. So thank you. And trolling the MLS is the hard way.
And included with trolling on the MLS, you need to stop taking calls from brokers and agents. This is a very common practice in commercial real estate acquisitions, where you have 4 or 5 brokers or agents or even just finders that aren't even licensed, and they're constantly throwing deals at you for you to analyze.
Right. And it's wasted time.
Trust me, there are deals that they're throwing to 6 other people.
Right.
And it's just, they got there first.
Yeah.
So stop taking calls from those people and replace all of that with sending out unsolicited offers to owners.
Mm-hmm. For exactly what you want.
Which leads me to my next point.
Yes.
Send them to everyone. Send offers to everyone. Do not specialize. Don't specialize in dead people property. Don't specialize in divorce property. Don't.
Absentee owners.
All of that. None of that.
Back tax.
All you're doing is missing you're missing the vast majority of the opportunity.
Bank owned.
All that
I could be here all day.
Me too. All that does is save you money on postage.
Does it?
And in the end,
I think it
you're
wastes
going to lose
money
a dramatic
postage.
you're going to lose a dramatic amount of time and money by I don't know what the good analogy would be on dating.
I think you waste money because you're going to end up sending more mail in the end to make up for all the bad stuff you sent out.
I mean, would you ever sit down and say, I'm only going to date brunettes?
Sure. I would absolutely say something like that.
Cut half the market out.
Come on. We all have a type, and we all know that. And I'm looking to you, Jack.
Okay, so we all have a type, but I'm speaking on behalf of all men.
Yeah.
Men do not sit around and say, oh, that girl's hair color is just not going to work for me.
Are you sure? Come on.
I'm telling you.
Oh, come on. You don't think every man has a built-in filter, but redheads are probably like what blondes are probably like and brunettes are probably like. That's a fact, right?
That's a fact.
Thank you.
I'm agreeing so far. Keep this line of questioning up. Because I know where you're going with this, and I think you're wrong.
So
I think women might do that.
Well, I don't think it's wrong to have a criteria.
Well, I'm not saying get married.
I think dating is a bad example.
I think dating is a perfect example.
Okay.
I do not sit around and say, nobody sits around and says, there's a really pretty girl over there, but I'm not going to look at her because her hair color's not right.
Okay, so let me just imagine this then. So you're saying that you would go down the path of dating someone sight unseen, really getting to know them.
Where did sight unseen come from?
Oh, because it's their hair
Where did
color.
online come
Well, because
from?
their hair color doesn't matter. So if it doesn't matter what they
Let's
look like.
leave sight unseen and hair color out of it. I
Like,
mean, and
come
internet.
on.
Leave the internet
Come
out
on.
of it.
Let's just say you meet someone, blind date. Let's just say it's a blind date. Someone sets you up with a blind date.
I don't know how they got to here, but okay.
Well,
All
you're
right,
the one that brought up dating.
I'll play along.
Come on. You and I both know that you
I think you got
have to
yourself in a
filter.
little trap here.
No, I did not. I think you have to filter some stuff out.
Handsome guy walks up to you, and everybody's dressed up at a party. All right, and you're Missy single. God forbid. Or no, let's say you're standing next to your single friend.
Okay.
Because you're super happy with me.
Thank you. Most days.
And a handsome guy walks up, and your friend doesn't sit there and say, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Your hair is the wrong color, or you're not my type.
Why wouldn't she?
I mean, do you judge a book by its cover?
Yes, there's an initial attraction. How did we get into this topic?
Men don't think like that. Men don't know what an initial attraction is.
I realize
All right,
that.
so let me rephrase my real estate rule.
Yeah. Don't use dating here.
Let me rephrase my real estate rule.
All right.
Send an offer to everybody.
Thank you.
Don't just send it to blondes.
Thank you.
If you're a girl, just send it to the people that make you have a good feeling about and miss all the opportunity.
What the heck? I don't know what that was.
On to the next rule.
Okay.
If you're going to buy houses, find a buyer first. It's as simple as that. Unless you're super experienced. We do a little bit of both here. Because in my $200,000 example, if I buy a $150,000 house, I know what to do. It's not our first rodeo. If you're new, make sure you have a buyer all set up first, a guy that's going to renovate the houses, so you want to just jam the deals to them over and over and over again.
You know what that is? It's a life lesson that applies here. We should be, in everything that we do, we should be working it backwards. Gee, I want to be a doctor. Okay, let's work it backwards. I mean, what kind of a doctor? I want to get to know that kind of person and work backwards. How much education do I need? What I need to do here. Then go down that path. Same thing with, like you said, find the buyer. Finding it's so much easier knowing that, all right, all I got to do is in this zip code, go find a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with no pool and comps around this range and stuff. This guy's going to buy 10 of them. Well, that's easy. And then go work it backwards, get only that data, send it out, find the deals.
Well said.
Thank you.
I love it. We're going to go over on time because I think these are really important.
This seems like common sense.
I know, but I
sometimes people miss it.
Yeah.
I know.
Sometimes I break my own rules.
Well, even we do. That's true too. We do that. What's next?
Buy a couple of types of property, especially in the beginning. So we all say we are famous for saying stick to your acquisition criteria, and that's it. But I do want you once you have your land business established and cash flowing, I want you to throw in some houses. And I want I don't want you to be cuckoo about looking at every deal, but I also think you need to kind of expand your horizons and be flexible. That's a key word. You have to be flexible. And here's another one that I can't impress this enough. What you're buying is somebody's situation. It's the appendicitis in room C. You're purchasing a property from somebody for less than it's worth because of their situation.
Right.
And you're solving a problem for them. So treat them with respect. You're not actually buying a house or a piece of land. You're developing and then terminating a relationship with a person.
You know how they say it's like you're buying a home, selling a house? It's the opposite.
So here, let me give you. Yes, exactly right. It's the opposite. Let me give you an example. You find two properties right next to each other, and one's got a sign in the yard and it says "house for sale" and it's vacant. All right. Everybody on Baker Pockets is going to find out what's going on there. Every single person. Right next door is Sally Smith, who just decided that she just doesn't want to live by herself any longer. The house has been long paid for. And she has a facility, one of those cool 55 plus places where you can play shuffleboard and cards and stay up all night and have a blast with people your own age. She's got that all picked out and funded and ready to go. And she just started thinking about packing her stuff up, and she gets your letter.
Yeah.
Well, now wait, she's going to pay. She's going to, and if she likes you, if it's Jill specifically, on the other end of the phone line, she's going to buy that. She's going to sell that house to Jill in 35 seconds, even if it's for less money. Is Jill taking advantage of her or helping her? Is Jill knocking down the price to the point where everybody's in tears? No. Is she shaving a couple, maybe $20,000 off? And now, by the way, Sally Smith doesn't have to clean the house up, doesn't have to renovate it like she thought she did. She doesn't have to call her son in Boston to fly out and help her do a real estate deal. Is that worth something? I think so.
Totally.
In fact, whatever her trigger points are, Jill's going to say, you know what? If you just want to leave all the furniture right there, you don't want to deal with this stuff, we'll handle it for you. And we'll even have a garage sale if that's what it takes.
Right.
Whatever it takes that's important to you. So that is a real estate deal, in my opinion, especially with houses. With land, not so much.
That was very sweet. I'm
You're
gonna
gonna do
help
that.
her move.
I knew you were going to throw me
I'm
under the
gonna,
bus.
and then I bake cookies. Just go ahead.
Jill and I sold a house one time to somebody, and Jill asked her at the end, why'd you buy? Remember this?
Yeah.
Why did you buy this house? She paid cash for it from Canada.
All right.
She said, because it has double ovens, and I want to make cookies for my neighbors.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
That silly double oven. You won that battle. I'm like, why would we ever put a double oven in a house?
That's right. I wanted to put a warming drawer in there too, but I lost that one. Well, at least the double ovens. Yep, right. That's cool. Thank you.
And that was a situation. She bought that house because of her silly oven.
Yeah, that was cool. I forgot about that. Good point. You have a long
that's
list.
about it. I mean, I do have some other stuff on here. We should probably do another show because we're way over in time.
Okay. That's cool. This was very good and very beneficial. Thank you, Jack.
Usually I would say something like, you've done it again, wasted another 30 minutes, but I don't think that was a waste of time.
I don't think it was either. But I would like to say,
join us in the next episode tomorrow, where we discuss houses versus land. A number of parcels comparison. These are my kinds of show.
and we answer your question should you have one, posted on our online community found on JackJill.com.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Yeah, I know you have more, and we will have to corral those and put those into another show. And we could probably put this is good, real estate and rules to live by, and we can make them as topics like money, people, acquisitions.
You know how this list came up is I was thinking about new episode titles.
Oh.
This is kind of like right from that file where I just keep it on my phone, where I think of something for whatever reason in the middle of the day, and I'm like, oh, wait, that would work.
That's cool.
It's usually driven by questions from people.
Exactly. That's cool. I love it. Hey, and if you love this, share the fun by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And while you're at it, please rate us there. We are Jack and Jill.
Sorry.
Oh.
We say this sentence every single day. Jill reads it. She says, share the fun by subscribing on iTunes. But I have to say, if you haven't done it, it really, really helps the distribution of the show.
Oh.
And it helps spreading the word. So seriously, I know it might take 30 seconds out of your life. If you could subscribe to wherever you're listening, it's super, exponentially helpful for us.
Aw. Please, thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
Okay. We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.